Hey guys, how are we doing today? So, a couple things I think could help people get started more easily in horse logging. A lot of people just don't say they're out there. Number one, don't get hung up in one specific breed. Don't get hung up on paperwork. Um, if you do have the money and life margins to weave through a specific breed and get the good ones out of that breed, great. If you don't have the profit margins to do that and whatnot, none of the horses in this barn are registered. None of them have paperwork. Not a single one. And they all work. We pay our bills. They work fine. They do great. So having that paperwork doesn't necessarily make a difference. If you're making your living off the animal actually being productive, waving that piece of paper behind them doesn't really help. But there's good horses that come with paperwork too. I'm not going to try to or away from horses with paperwork. So horses without paperwork are cheaper sometimes. So that is a very legit possibility. You're looking for a good horse. There's good and bad in all breeds. You're looking for a good horse. Um, Another thing, you don't have to have a team to start working towards this goal. You don't even have to have a team necessarily. You can start learning your local timber market. You can start learning how to cut timber, how to dress your bar chain, how to be a logger. You can even get some part-time work. If you're good with a chainsaw, you can get part-time work with scarecrew or something. Sweat. If you want to earn people's respect and get in with the local market, sweat. Getting good with your local loggers, like not the bad ones. There's good and bad loggers, and there's actually a lot of good loggers out there as far as people go. And there's some bad ones, but the average logger is someone who's just willing to risk their life, pound their guts out, and put in long hours trying to pay the bills and make it a living. Um, but you can learn the timber market from them and from so many things: the price of trucking and the what lengths to cut your timber and just all there's a million and one things that are so useful. I have mentors that are not horse loggers that help me with logging. Probably not enough, but they're there, and it's a really good thing for me. Which leads into horses, chainsaw, trucking things. So getting mentor is probably the number one way how to lower the barrier to entry. Because if you have to learn everything the hard way, you're much more likely to have burnout and have bad experiences. And so having multiple mentors can be a really good thing. I don't take anybody's opinion like God's word, but if someone's legit, not because someone's on TV, not because someone can talk good, but if someone's legitimately profitable, at least part time or full time, paying their bills with a team or with their horses, and what is the words I'm looking for? And legit, I guess, would be the word. I'm going to value their opinion, even if it's not applicable to me. So, for example, logging in steep country versus logging in flat country. Right now. I'm logging in pretty flat country for the most part. Maybe 5% of the time I'm on a bluff or something. But logging in steep country, I have logged in steep country where I had put pulling shoes or cleats or cords on my horse's shoes so they could just get up the hillside to get to the log so they could come back down. And a lot of people, I guess, haven't logged in country that steep, but you do not have grace. You gotta have your shit together. You set your gear up differently. So if you're gonna log in steep country, you need a mentor that can help you in steep country. It doesn't mean a mentor in flat country cannot be extremely beneficial to you, but there's reasons why people do things different ways in different parts of the country, up north versus south, mountain land versus flat land. There's all kinds of variations, and a lot of that, the timber. Um, there's so many variations to logging. I can go from here 2 hours away and be the same species, and all the timber bars are different, the grade is different, what lengths you cut the tree is different, the terrain is different, how much you get cut, how fast the timber cuts, that adds up. Um, so you can start with a lot of things without even having a team. But when you do get a team and we do start on that horsemanship deal, a lot of people start leaning heavier. We do use equipment, and boy, am I happy for it. Just organizing the land. I was watching Airsworth. Oh my goodness. I forget like how much calories that just organize your landing, and we use the skid steer to load the truck and spread gravel if we need to gain access or something of that nature. So it's a really big blessing. But what people tend to do is when they have a piece of equipment on a job site, because their animals are not up to par and their teamsmanship is not up to par, they tend to start leaning on that equipment heavier than what they really want to. So getting good horses or good animals and having your teamsmanship skills up to par and having that animal actually enjoying its job, at least somewhat enjoying its job and not hating its job. If you got an animal hating its job, you need to reverse that if possible. Stage, like when a young horse or a young animal and going through stages, that's perfectly normal. But as far as day in, day out, being good with that team, and it's way easier, so easy inside comparison to go out and do field work day in, day out with a team versus go out and do logging with a team day in, day out, and they'll be happy doing it. So Jeff's really helped me with my driving. So has other people, and I listened to a lot of them. And through Jeff, I met Ab Sanders, Charlie, people that pay their bills. They're old now, but one dude started when he was 12 years old, made a deal with a neighbor to buy his mule and make payments to him, put him together with another mule that he had access to, and at 12 years old, went and started making money and helping pay bills, paid for meals and started paying bills when he was 12 years old, and kept logging until, I want to say, mid or late 80s. When I met him, he was like 92. He was passionate about it. Like he was into it. Talking with those guys, listen to their stories, listen how they've made mistakes or things they've done right, or things they've done wrong, or that can save you a lot of heartache. That can be really good. Another thing, if someone does tell you how they've made a mistake or something's messed up, or whatever, do not repeat it. Like, maybe repeat it, but be really careful how you do it. There are people that I found there are people that sell themselves being legit, sell themselves paying their bills with their horses, and are not, by working horses, and are not paying their bills by working horses. And anybody that is actually paying their bills and is actually being legitimately working their horses, they find every opportunity to try to down them, which is actually really dumb on their part. But don't go around repeating. If someone's gracious enough to give you the opportunity to learn from their mistakes, don't go around running your mouth afterward. Like, take that blessing and keep it to yourself. People irk me, people drive me nuts, and I like to be mouthy as much as anybody, I guess. But if someone is willing to help you be successful, shut up and do not down them. Do not gossip. Do not, anything, and don't tell people that are gossips and like to run their mouth and sit around their butt about the people that are willing to go and do and work, because what will happen is the word will get back around, and years later, you need a piece of advice. They got a key piece of advice, or they know they have this piece of knowledge that could really help you, your horse, or a situation, or what type of temper you're in, or whatever, and they just keep their mouth shut because you haven't treated them well, So that would be just a piece of advice. Keep your know when to open your mouth, ask for advice and whatnot, and seek counsel, and know when to keep your mouth shut, and try not to down people. Some people I don't mind downing. There's some guy on a forum that was saying he could log uphill just as efficiently. Him and his horses can log uphill just as efficiently as he can downhill, and blah 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 breed is the most sure-footed breed, and then the moderator let him run off the mouth and block the other guys from talking. Well, and he's saying I do this full time, blah blah blah, and blah 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 blah. Well, if you're an idiot and an arrogant person, you've earned some mouthiness back to you. That's I'm not saying don't, when someone's an idiot, don't say that. But someone's sharing with you mistakes that they've made in the past, knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do. And that information is exceedingly rare as far as working stock goes. So anyway, just some thoughts, guys. Thanks for listening. Take care.